I took some panoramas with the drone. I wanted to test how good Luminar Neo's new Panorama Extension is, so I decided to make it a bit harder, and when the drone is in mid-air and I will take 3 or even more shots, the drone won't be at the same position, so it is a very tough task for a panorama stitching software to make it look good so that there are no, flaws in the image. And Luminar Neo has a new extension, Panorama Extension, and yes, I wanted to test that. Hi, it's Peter here. And a disclaimer, Skylum sent me this extension, so they provided me the beta version of this before the launch, which is actually today, or it's available today. It was launched on 12th of July, but I decided to make the video now. Even though they sent me the extension tool, they did not ask me to do this video, nor did they say what I should discuss about it. Everything I say is my own opinion based on using the software for a little while. But let's get right into the business. Okay, here are the 3 images that I took. I wanted to test first with the vertical images. There are only 3 images. I think it's enough for testing purposes. I do have another image which was 6 horizontal images, and I will show that also later. And I will also compare the results with Lightroom Classic and its panorama tool. It is very easy to make the panorama with Luminar Neo. You just drag the images to this box, and before you press start, check out the options. And I would turn on the distortion correction and de-vignette so that it will make the images slightly better. If you don't turn on the de-vignette, there might be some weird exposure things on the corners, and some, the exposure won't be kind of like even across the panorama. So I recommend using these. And if you have a camera that, or the lens that it's not perfect, then this chromatic aberration remover is also a wise thing to turn on. But remember, all these boxes, if you take them on, it will make a bit longer to make the panorama. But in most cases, most likely it's not a big issue, unless you're in a real hurry, which I doubt that most of us are not. And then press start. You will get a low resolution preview where you can check that everything is okay. Then you can toggle the options here, which I really recommend you to do, because the options make the panorama to look a little bit different, and you can choose which one works better. And the options are spherical, cylindrical, Mercator, plane, and fisheye. And as I said, test which one works best for your image. For this particular image, I chose plane. It did a pretty good job. Then you press stitch, and then you have the option to crop the image. And then, of course, you can crop the way you want it. If you want the whole area, you can use some kind of Photoshop beta generative fill afterwards and fill the gaps, or you can crop it so that you don't need to do that. That's what I did for this particular image. And when you press the crop, it will actually make the stitching and make you the final image. And you can find it from Panorama Stitching. There you have the image. And as you see from this image, it made a very good job, even though the camera wasn't exactly the same position when I took all these 3 images. And also the camera was slightly tilted, and that's why you saw that the edges were a little skewed. That was because it straightened up the big buildings in the middle. And I think this tool worked very well on this particular image. It was flawless, and I'm very happy about this tool, that it works so well. Then I have this other image that was made with 6 horizontal images, and that one has slight flaws. I don't know if I made overlapping enough between the images or not, but just you can see there is some ghosting here, which is not very easy to correct. So for these images, it did not work that well. But then, how does it compare to Lightroom Classic and its panorama tool? The first image that I showed you was better with Luminar Neo, as you can see from here. Lightroom did not do very well job on this particular image. But then the other image with 6 horizontal images, it was a lot better. Not that much ghosting, almost perfect, just slight corrections. in the middle of the image, but not as bad as Luminar Neo had. I'm glad that Luminar Neo now has this Panorama extension and it worked really well. But on some images you might find better tools. But if you already have Luminar Neo, I think it's a no-brainer to get this extension. And I do have an affiliate link in the description of this video, so you can get the extension. And it is an affiliate link. You won't pay any extra, but I get a small commission if you use the link down below, which is much appreciated. It helps me to make this free content for you. And in panorama photography, it is really crucial to have good original images, the base images that will be stitched together. And I do have a video about that on my channel. It's not a new video, but the stuff that I said is still valid. So you might want to watch that if you are into panorama photography and want to make the best possible images to start, or for the stitching software to make perfect job. There are a few tips and tricks that makes the image perfect. And here is the video about panorama photography. You might want to watch that because it has some good tips about it. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.